Welcome, welcome. Another broadcast from LB Media Group. Melanated news you can use. Let's do this. I'm so excited to share with you everything I've been up to. And we're getting into it. Mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass. She's my top story right now. She's nearing her first 100 days in office. This is very important, very critical. So we're getting into the money. We're getting into it. So we'll see, But so far, working on curing homelessness in this city. That is a huge, huge deal right now. Also, we'll be talking a little bit about reparations coming in from the California Reparations Task Force, what this means for everyone throughout the nation. And people are talking, people have ideas, and we'll get into that. And then just so many other stories going on in the world. It's just from California droughts to, flooding, and then earthquakes in Turkey and Syria. It's just really crazy right now. And then, we survived Black History Month. We made it another month. So I'm going to take some time to invite some people in and, we'll get into it. So welcome. I gotta do my invitations and all that good stuff. But yeah, hopefully we get my people to come in and they'll chime in. Hey, so again, I'm just gonna take this time to invite some people in because people always hitting me up. People are asking when I'm gonna do the broadcast, and so what happens here is I record live on Facebook, and then I later upload it to YouTube. So some people may check it out later. I'm gonna try to just invite some of my top people that be up in my inbox. Come in, say hello. I appreciate all the love, support, the kindness, the comments. I appreciate it all. Yeah, great, awesome. Yay, we're black, and we're back for another broadcast, and it's been really fun. Everything I do here is self-funded, it's self-supported, and these are the things that I choose to do because I was just thinking about this. Why did I, put on the journalism cap? And I'll be honest with you, I did not like the news that was getting out to our people. And I was just so hungry and thirsty for more information, and I wasn't getting it. So I had one of the top stories in the world come across my desk and my purview, and I was just like, I gotta cover this. I gotta get in because I talk so much about California, what it was, what it used to be, and all the change throughout history. So I'm so happy to have my people in. If you're here, say hello, and let me know some things that are going on in your neck of the woods, in your neighborhoods. What are some top stories that you want to discuss? And if it makes sense and it's not frivolous, we will discuss it. Other than that, I'm going to get started while I'm inviting some of my people in. And we're going to get right into it because it is springtime. I am a spring baby. All the fullness. And this is the top of the calendar. People talk about this new year happens in the spring. People are starting to wake up to the actual solar calendar, but also with respect to the lunar calendar. So I'm going to get right into it because, of course, I did something with Mayor Bass. Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? How are you? Hello, welcome. So LB Media Group's Melanated News you can use. We're back for another broadcast. We're going to get right into it, or I want to. That's the goal. Yeah. And my top story is, of course, with Mayor Bass. She's very fun. I've been having a good time covering her so far. So, yay. Great, great, great. Let's see. Uh-oh. This is some changes here, so I want to make sure everything's still good. Like, what are these changes? So we'll get to it. Great. Oh, this is a one-woman show, so allow me to change over and transition over because I'm like, what's this? Like, what's going on here? All right, so hopefully we continue to have a smooth broadcast. And let me know if there's any issues on your end. I appreciate those that kind of help me through the technical difficulties. I don't have all the time to, do sound control. But like I said, it's a one-woman show. So let's get into it. Yay. this is gonna be interesting. This is gonna be real interesting because they made some updates and changes. I'm gonna have to put in some complaints because I don't like this one. All right, jeez. Gotta go. I want to go right into it. That's crazy. I don't like that.
This is Lady Lila Brown from LB Media Group's Melanated News You Can Use, reporting from Chinatown within downtown Los Angeles, celebrating the Year of the Rabbit during the Chinese Lunar New Year. Mayor Karen Bass participated in the 124th annual Golden Dragon Lunar New Year Parade, the largest Asian cultural celebration in Southern California, as the Grand Marshal. So the parade begins at the intersection of Hill Street and Orange Street. Participate in the celebrations. So many amazing things happening today. But I am serious. Team LB Media Group, we are multicultural, we are multilingual, we're multifaceted, we are so diverse. And I'm serious. I have to show you all. It's the Year of the Rabbit, and I don't play by my offerings, okay? This is my Zeus temple. I am bringing some fresh, organic carrots to temple. I'm serious about my good luck. And what good luck I had today. Come join that joy. So thank you for tuning in to LB Media Group's Melanated News You Can Use. To keep up with all the latest on Mayor Karen Bass, you can check out my website, ellabmediagroup.com. Be sure to also like, comment, share, and subscribe to my YouTube page. Until next time, take care and good luck.
Yay! Yay to me! We are rocking and rolling. Hey, some of these changes I thought we made are actually not. They are back. Everything's pretty good on my end. So yay. So I might do a very, very quick spiritual reading as we go into this Lunar New Year, coming out of the 12th moon, that moon cycle. February is the last month, and so we'll be making our way over to the spring equinox. So welcome. I'm going to keep inviting some people in and some of my friends and whatnot, and let's get right into it because, yay, I'm so happy we made that. We're getting through smoothly, but I wanted to show a little bit about this because I always talk about I go to the Chinese temple, and I never quite saw it like this. We've had some tragedy within the Chinese American community in these United States with a mass shooting, and then the gunman went over to a second temple, and that's not too far from me in this area. A very affluent Chinese community, but so crazy because I'm serious about my Chinese Lunar New Year. But I went to the temple as I would normally do, and I have been meaning to make my way over, and it was just really hard for me. But I was able to do so, and I set up my video camera because I wanted to share it with you all. And basically, I kind of noticed like how beautiful the temple was. I never really quite noticed it before. And so I want to share this, and I did a voiceover, so we'll get into it. Yeah. Let's see. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna have to get used to some of these updates and changes, but hi, thank you. Okay, you're driving, perfect. That's quite all right. This is, I try to make this where you guys can sit and listen, and, I don't expect y'all to all interact all the time because it's hard sometimes, but, yeah, I appreciate you all, and let's do this. This is going to be really, I'm trying to, what's going on? I don't know what these changes. We're going to have to roll with it. So y'all going to have to take these little cuts in between. I try to make it smooth as possible, but it is what it is.
It is very rare that I have the opportunity to share any way that I choose to worship with anyone, really. I try to visit temples all over the world and share my experiences. So here is one of my favorite temples in the world, my regular. This is the Tian Hao Temple, located Chinatown, downtown Los Angeles. And this temple is dedicated to Mazu, who is the mermaid goddess of the sea. She is the saint for any sailors, fishermen, any cultures associated with the sea. And that's very important, of course, when we are coming over to Los Angeles from Chinese culture and that great big Pacific Ocean. So this temple is dedicated for Taoist worshipers, but it's also really great, has an extra room for the Buddhist. And so there are 11 point centers where we drop off our incense. So the first thing that happens when I come to this temple is to grab 11 incense. Those are my, I refer to them as my joy, good luck incense. We come to the lantern here. We light the fire. And then we set them at the points for each of the gods. One is for Guan Yu, who is the god of war, brotherhood, and righteousness. Another is for Fu De, who is the god of earth, wealth, and merit. And there's also a site for Ding Zhang, who is the god of treasury. And they added this bodhisattva because a lot of Buddhists like to come to this temple to worship as well. So I enjoy my time here. And I have to say, I did not realize how beautiful it was until I'm watching the playback on my video and I see everything at the top. Because I'm so focused on everything around me, I don't even see the ambiance and the beauty of which I'm participating in. So I'm just so happy to have this beautiful angle. I got a lot of compliments on my outfit today. And you'll see me going back and forth because you have to do these things in order. So you give it to the temple first. Second and third incense is for the temple guardians. The fourth is for Mazu, so you'll see me praying there to my beautiful mermaid sea goddess. One time I left her some earrings. This year, the year of the rabbit, I decide to leave some organic fresh carrots. That is to the water god dedication. So thank you for watching. Thanks for listening.
Yay, okay. Woohoo! We're making it. We are making it. We're making it. All right, we're getting these stories out. I like to recap because it's like it's so interesting. I'm throwing it to myself. I'm like, I'm the anchor, I'm the reporter, I'm the correspondent. So yes, thank you. Hey, thanks for tuning in. I know you guys are out and about. I just felt it in my spirit to do this. We're getting to the next. We're getting to the next stories. I want to go over into some of my some of the stuff I did around Grammys, but there's so much going on with Mayor Bass. So thank y'all for tuning in, and as we transition to all these stories and things like that, I'm trying to like wrap it up because and wrap it up, I mean give a comprehensive report because what she's doing is so amazing. So yeah, I'm trying to make sure we just chop over. You know what? They had some bug fixes. I'm gonna have to tell them. And they did some updates. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep it going. Now, certain things are happening, and this is primarily why I vote for certain people. I like to, when I see when I see them doing things that I voted for them for, I'll preface by saying this. This is why I voted for Karen Bass, with her coming from Congress, from the House of Representatives, into the mayoralship. And there was a lot of opportunities for her to do other things with this administration. But whatever happened, and the ancestors and the goddess intervened and said, no, we need you in the city of Los Angeles. $60 million from HUD. I might get into Secretary Marsha Fudge, but I want to focus on Los Angeles. But this is the largest amount given directly for homelessness, not for middle income families, not for low income families, not for, people that are struggling this is directly for homelessness. $60 million for one city. So while we're doing our things in LA and I'm covering it, and I'm like, ooh, where's Secretary Fudge? I can't wait to get that one. She's in Chicago, which I didn't know until I finished the press conference here. So make sure you tune in to my, I know Snapchat is really fun. I love it. But really on my Instagram at Team EBMG, and I'll put that in the chat, because I give y'all a lot of behind the scenes as I'm building the story, and it's really coming together in a very beautiful way. So it's at Team EBMG. Thank you so much. And we're going to cut over to it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And there's a lot of other things going on. And I was talking to a family member right before I went live, and just thanking them for their support and encouragement. And then he dumped some more civil rights stories on me. And I'm like, my family is just that is our business. And the more I come to learn more about my elders before me, the more I understand why I'm so adamant about these issues. And then maybe we'll wrap up with me going through my own civil rights issues. Y'all, we almost didn't make it out of Black History Month, okay? Yo, we almost didn't make it out of Black History Month. So I'll be sure to keep it going. Make sure you share. Make sure you let people know that we are now live here. And it's a great discussion. You can invite your friends in. Great. All right, we're going to hop over to the next story. And sorry about all these weird transitions in between. It's not giving me what I need. I got to figure out what's going on with this. Whoa. Seriously. You know what? Let's see. Are we good? Are we still good here? Y'all, as y'all can see, I'm high definition. Okay. And let's see. We're going to try to cut over. Oh, okay. I think I know what's going on. We're going to keep it rolling. We're going to figure this out eventually. So thank you all. And, did we get it going? I need it. I think I'm fixing it. Y'all, I am so smart. Okay, great. We're going to cut right over to this story. Yay!
Lady Lila Brown back at City Hall, where Mayor Karen Bass has just announced $60 million in HUD funding, which is led by Secretary Marsha Fudge to support city and county efforts to address LA's homelessness crisis. Janice Hahn, chair of the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors, Councilmember Nithya Raman, chair of Housing and Homelessness Committee, HUD Regional Administrator Jason Pugh, and representatives of the Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority, LASA, the Housing Authority of the City of Los Angeles, HACLA, and the Los Angeles County Development Authority, LACDA, joined in to show their appreciation and noting a first for direct care for the unhoused. Her new Inside Safe initiative is underway and has already helped people living in encampments. After doing so in Venice Beach, she has just cleared another area, this time near the intersection of West 87th Street and Western Avenue, and near the intersection of Culver Boulevard and South Slauson Avenue. People have accepted housing at these sites, first in motel rooms where services and case management leading to permanent supportive housing are offered. Inside Safe was launched through the executive directive from Mayor Bass, and this is her office's new citywide proactive housing-led strategy to bring people inside from tents and encampments for good and to prevent encampments from returning. You can catch the latest episode of LB Media Group's Melanated News You Can Use, where we wrapped up the mayor's first month in office, along with providing updates for Cherokee Nation from our representatives. So make sure you get all this information via my YouTube page. You can like, comment, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it all. And you can also check out my website, LFBmediagroup.com, as we head into Grammy Awards Week, where Mayor Karen Bass will give the keynote address at the 25th Annual Entertainment Law Initiative. This is a Grammy Week event. We are reporting live from Los Angeles. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take care and good luck.
Everyone, it is very, very nice to begin my day with a 69.
Right.
I want to point out and emphasize that today we have the chair of the County Board of Supervisors, Janice Hahn, LASA's Chief Program Officer, Molly Reisman, Doug Guthrie from the City Housing Authority, Emilio Salas from the LA County Development Authority, and Helene Schneider from the U.S. Interagency Council on Homelessness. I raise their names and point this out again because we have to have every level of government in alignment to address this crisis. So I am so encouraged that one more time you see us joining together, and even more encouraged to lock arms today with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, Secretary Marcia Fudge and Regional Administrator Jason Pugh, who is here and has delivered $60 million. You might remember that last June, Secretary Fudge came to Los Angeles. I tried to bring many federal officials through Los Angeles so they could see the magnitude of the crisis that we are dealing with here. I was very excited when President Biden decided that homelessness was going to be a key strategy with all in, and that the goal is to reduce homelessness by 25% in the country. And so my appeal to the administration is just come to LA. If we are able to significantly reduce homelessness in Los Angeles, we can absolutely contribute to the national goal of reducing homelessness by 25%. So I thank everyone here for their work on this issue and our continued effort with Inside Safe to get people who are on the street right now, who are suffering the most, off the street and into housing. In addition, my executive directive to reduce the time and cost of building affordable housing and shelter in LA is already underway, and we are discovering barriers that have prevented or slowed down the building of housing or placing of individuals. We're identifying these barriers, and we are identifying what we need to cast these barriers aside. So I'm very happy to be here today and to continue to work. We are building a very strong partnership between the city and the county, and you know that has been one of the fundamental problems in our area, and we are expanding that partnership to include the state and the federal government.
Hi, yes, Lila Brown, LB Media Group. I just wanted to learn a little bit more about the collaborative process with Secretary Fudge and how that makes it much more effective leadership.
Sure.
And the Congressional Black Caucus, your bond there as well.
Yes. Well, from the time I entered the campaign, I was talking to my federal counterparts about the situation in Los Angeles. I thought it was very important that federal leaders come here and see again the magnitude of the problem, which is why I invited Secretary Fudge to come and have been talking to her throughout the year about barriers, some of which originated at HUD, some of which are barriers we've placed upon ourselves. This Tuesday, Helene Schneider, the agency that she represents, the Interagency Council on Homelessness, the director will be coming out, Jeff Olivat, and he'll be available to speak to the press more about the President's initiative. I've also had Ambassador Susan Rice come out from the Domestic Policy Council, and we took her so that she would understand the magnitude. I've spoken to Secretary Becerra, who's from Los Angeles, Health and Human Services. Yes, we've been in Congress together, and I spoke to him about coming out because you know that we cannot solve this problem without addressing the health issues, whether it's mental health, whether it's substance abuse, or chronic health conditions that lead to homelessness. I've asked him specifically if he would come, but also if he would send the SAMHSA director. SAMHSA stands for Substance Abuse Mental Health Agency, so that they can come and see the fact that we do not have the infrastructure for drug treatment that we need to have. And drug treatment can't be collapsed into mental health. We have to have those services in order to succeed long term. It's not about just getting people off the street for a few weeks. It's about getting them off the street permanently and ending street homelessness.
What? We're here. And we're here. And we're doing it. We're doing it. We're making it through and we're knocking these stories out. as I was noting, we were going into Grammys week, and so some interesting things happened because I'm always trying to, you know, stay out of the music industry. It's just long and arduous, and it's just too much work that I just don't have the patience for. I'm kind of like, let me know when the album is done, and sometimes it's too late, so whatever. People be like, I'm done with the album, but really, I had an opportunity to attend an event. I was following a story. Someone from my hometown, Kansas City's name is Jay White, and he basically did Cardi B's first album as one of the executive producers on some of her most famous songs, like basically her whole album. So he's Grammy Award winning. So I guess they were using last year's information to say, you know, he was going to be there, and he wasn't. So they were honoring this year. So I get there, and I'm like, yo, I'm looking for this story. And they were like, oh, I don't know. I don't see him. Maybe he's not here. And so what happened was people were like, well, Jay White might not be here, but Nova Wave is. And I was like, who's Nova Wave? And they were like, so anyway, I was just like, somebody was like, oh, they work on Beyonce stuff. So anyways, I'm working as paparazzi, and somebody calls me, and it's this brother with this Gumby fade, and he is wearing a lime green suit. He's like, Lila. And I'm like, these people be knowing me, but I don't remember. And then he told me his name, and I was like, John Pierre from The Popular Opinion. He is a huge deal on Clubhouse, and last time he came to LA, I had met with him, and we just had coffee and meeting. I just love, you know, to connect with people. And so I was like, you're in town. So he was like, yeah, I'm just here for Nova Wave. And I'm like, why everybody keep talking about Nova Wave? He was like, Lila, they did 8 out of the 16 songs for Beyonce's Renaissance album, Act 1. And I said, huh? Because normally you hear about people like, I got 1 or 2 songs on the album. You got 8 songs on an album? Who does that? Come to find out, these are 2 of our sisters. They're not sisters, but 2 of our sister girls. And they are a writing duo, and a mutual friend put them together, and they hit it off since. One of them wrote something for Rihanna, didn't get credit for it. And I was like, oh, y'all got that Rihanna buzz. Oh, y'all didn't know. Y'all didn't know. When the first time you ever give a song to Rihanna, you're not going to get credit for it. I know somebody that did a few songs for Rihanna and didn't get credit for it, but then on the next album, he got the whole album credit. I believe he said it was for Loud. I was like, oh, they got that Rihanna buzz. Oh, okay, y'all didn't know. But after then, they have produced songs for Jay-Z. I have to just, I gave the backstory on this on TikTok. So y'all not gonna get all those details. Y'all better follow me on TikTok because, yo, I was determined to get my question. I had a good time. It was a Black Grammy event. I don't go to all the bougie stuff. I like to go to the black stuff. The stuff that's kind of a little bit off. The stuff that's kind of a little bit. We had a Grammy event, and we having turkey legs and gravy. Okay. I like to go to those. I don't like them bougie events because I'm out of the music industry, but I still do public relations. I love my work. I love media. And so here you're going to see John Pierre. If y'all remember him from Clubhouse, he and I used to hit a lot of the pop culture rooms, and he used to be on News. He would do the pop culture edition. He's amazing. He's a fan favorite. He was everywhere during Grammys week. I'm like, we need to maybe we need to collaborate, but he was too nervous to ask a question. I got the question. I got the mic for him so he can ask his question. It was the best question of the night.
You found out the number of contributions you made to Renaissance. Many of the creatives found out, the public found out, which was through the release of the credits. And so, you know, the Superstars process is shrouded in secrecy. And so I wanted to know your reaction and also your favorite cut from Renaissance. Thank you.
That's a fucking.
Yo.
Thank you.
Hello? Okay, cool. Yeah, I was, man, for me, I'm gonna speak for myself. I was just ecstatic. It was like, finally, it was like I could breathe. You know what I mean? Because it's like working with somebody like me, you just never know. things change all the time, so it's just like and for everything to cut through, just like, wow, like, it just felt like a dream come true, like it was something we've been manifesting and working towards for years. So it just felt like I could breathe for a second, you know what I mean? And I just felt grateful, man, just happy, humbled by it. You asked another question I wanted to answer. You said something else. My favorite cut? Church girl. Yeah, church girl. Nah, we didn't do that one. Yo, we did not do that record, but that is our favorite song. We love Church Girl. It's so crazy you asked about how do we feel when we figured out how many we got, right? And so I have a journal called the Project 369, and probably in April, I looked through this the other day, but I had written down that we wanted 9 songs and 6 beats. I had written that. Then on another page, I have written, it says, how will this manifest? And I said, Beyonce dancing in the studio. Like, it's written down in a book. Like, if you go to my page, you'll see 9 songs, 6 beats. Like, for real. And so I did. Write the vision and make it plain. And then we've had vision boards. We've really been in tune with God on that scientific, philosophical physics type of level. And so honestly, it was something that when it happened, I was like, yeah, this is about right. Yeah, this makes sense. It makes sense.
Did you get your answer?
But always being humble and grateful. And God is good. I swear to God, I'll send you a picture.
That was so awesome. I hustled for that question. I don't even want to get into what I had to do to get that. But I didn't know who Nova Wave was, but by the end of the night I did. So we'll wrap it up with a really quick another interview. Come on in, share the video. I had to do a Grammys recap because I'm going into another award show week with the Oscars, and who knows where I'll end up. And then I want to keep these broadcasts going a little bit more often, even if we do once a month. I'm so busy, but Coachella's coming up. I'm really trying here, okay? I'm really trying. So thank you so much. I went, like I said, I only go to Black events. Everybody else is like, I want to go to the mainstream white events. And I mean, do your thing. But for me, I be loving our events. It just, the ones that just kind of slightly off. Just a little. And we have a good time because it's a different type of energy. It's more love. It's more family. But like I said, I'm a PR person, putting on my journalism cap, and I'm approaching this city in a different way. So I went to the All Hip Hop event. All Hip Hop has been a part of our culture for a very long time. When the Source magazine and Double XL and all these, magazines were transitioning to figure out how to get online, allhiphop.com was already figuring it out. So I remember I used to pitch this for my clients because I had hip hop clients coming out of Atlanta, and the publisher owners were always really good about accepting my emails, working with me on stories. And then when I had a really good A-list talent for them, they were really good about writing, interviewing, doing whatever I needed to feature artists. And that really helped me as a PR pro because my clients would get that feature and then they would be happy with my services. So I wanted to show love and respect for All Hip Hop. Now, the PR person that did the event, she is a PR pro, and she's she's on the board of directors now with Double XL magazine. And so I was like, you're my story for the night. I know it's a lot of other celebrities here in town, a lot of cool, dope acts and artists. I said, but you're my story. Because for a PR person, and I didn't know this about her, we never talk because I'm usually a PR person, come in, working, she working, and I'm out. But I said, I want to stop and show some sister appreciation. Her name is Echo Haddix with Echoing Sounds. I think she said the first client she ever had was E40. Tell me how they know. She did a story on it, and she told us she hit E40 with her rate, her real rate, the rate she always wanted to charge. And E40 said, okay, bloop, bloop, bloop. And she said, oh, wow. So I said, oh, that's how you got to approach it. So when I first moved to LA and I wanted to raise my fees, I always remember that story from her. And so I'm going to play this interview again because I was having a good time. I overslept. I almost missed the red carpet, but they let me get on the red carpet. I said, oh, y'all don't want me to report? They said, you late. We about to close the carpet. I said, oh, well, my story tonight is Echo Haddix. They said, huh? I said, where's Echo? Because I came here to interview Echo. And they was like, I think we can open the carpet. Bloop, bloop, lights back up. Yeah, I'm here to interview the person that's coordinating the red carpet. So they said, Echo, somebody's here to interview you. I thought we shut down the carpet. No, honey, it's about you. You're the star, Echo. So I love showing other black women love and appreciation. And I know a lot of people don't understand what we as PR people do behind the scenes, but hopefully I'm shedding some light for you all, and we'll get these stories up and running, and let's do it.
Award-winning weekend, and I'm at the All Hip Hop Pre-Grammy Lounge event presented by Echo Haddix of Echoing Sounds. Echo Haddix is the pure epitome of diversity, equity, and inclusion. For more than a decade, she has delivered memorable world-class events as a staple in Los Angeles, Hollywood. So it's no surprise that she was tapped to be an official board member for the 2023 Double XL Awards. Time and time again, she has demonstrated that you don't have to discriminate in order to activate A-list events. When you get invited from Echo Haddix, it is a must that you RSVP yes. So from one PR sister to another, congratulations, Echo Haddix. Keep doing what you're doing. And be sure to check out LBmediagroup.com for all my Grammy Award week coverage. And be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my YouTube page for more post-event wrap-up. The 65th Annual Grammy Awards will broadcast live from Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles, hosted by Trevor Noah this Sunday on February 5th, 2023 at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That is on CBS. So take care, and until next time, good luck to all the nominees. So Echo. So you've been doing this about, I'd say more than a decade, but it hasn't been longer. 22? I figured about 2 decades, okay. So you're a board member now, officially for Double XL Awards, which is gonna make sure that there's gonna be some good selections. So can you tell us a little bit more about that? You said perfect timing on that. Right now. car for Gates to Move. That was amazing. I was like, Echo is everywhere. Thank you, Echo. Congratulations.
Yay! Yo, so of course there's some other things that I gotta work on. I gotta get my microphones and things like that. But she didn't want to go outside. She wanted to stay in. I was like, Echo, okay, that's music. We partying. But other than that, I had a really good time. So hey, thank you all for still being here and tuning in. And you know, we're still rocking and rolling. So we're making it. I just wanted to update you all on all the amazing things that I'm doing. Just trying to recap. That was all February, Black History Month. We survived Black History Month. I mean, that resistance was
Connections to bring in federal.
It was serious. It was serious. So I wanted to cut over and actually, I'm gonna actually, keep the entertainment stories going. Another thing during Black History Month, I went to the Pan African Film Festival. I'm really getting my interview chops in, and I have to say this. So y'all know about the diaspora wars, people that are in tune with my broadcast. Y'all familiar. Y'all, I was reporting on the Pan African Film Festival, and they put me on the shitty end of the carpet, but my other big mainstream media that covers Mayor Bass, they looked out for me that night. They let me report with them. I got to report with the big cameras and the mainstream media, because they was like, they don't know who you are. Clearly, we just mistreat one another. The white media gets all the big placement, and they put the lesser known black media at the end. But then the white media was like, girl, stop playing with us. Okay, because this is not about color. This is about mindset. This is about mentality. This is about professionalism. So that was fun. And I'm so glad he saved me in that moment. There was an African on the red carpet, and she kept asking all the black Americans, have you ever heard of the word Akata? The first time she asked it, I said, okay. Y'all, Akata is a racial slur that the Africans call black Americans because they know we're not the same people, and they have a lot of envy and jealousy towards us. They think we don't appreciate our native land. They think we take things for granted. They don't know anything about the civil rights movement. They don't know anything about the genocides that happened in the 1800s. And so she kept asking that, and then she asked again to a black American, because she's like, I really don't want to interview nobody unless they are part of the diaspora or directly from Africa. So a black woman that was a boxer has a movie that's airing during the film festival, and she wanted to kind of like, talk to her about that. But she said, really her only question of the night was, have you ever heard of the term Akata? What do you think about it? What do you think about Africa? And everybody's like, oh, I love Africa. It's the motherland. I hope to visit Africa one day. And I looked over her when the guest left. I said, I know what Akata means. And I said, now I'm very offended that you keep asking that question to my people. I'm going to let you. And then I ended up leaving that area. She wanted to basically call them a slur, knowing that they don't know what it means. And then she filled them in, but then asked them what they think about Africa. And they had nothing but lovely things to say about Africans and how we need to unite. And it's almost a mockery, because she was basically suggesting that you don't even know about all these diaspora wars. You still think you African. So we're going to play this to your benefit. We're going to play your naivete and your ignorance against you. We're going to have you loving up and romanticizing Africa, but at the same time, we know we're not the same people. You don't even know you indigenous to this continent. And how many times you going to keep saying the African N-word to us? So I wanted to just let y'all know that little backstory, the shit I be going through. I was like, Lila, you think you want to get into journalism, you better stay your happy ass over in the world of public relations, in the world of gatekeepers. So we're gonna get back into the story. Thank you so much for tuning in. Keep liking, hit those likes. It helps other people find this broadcast, because I got a lot of valuable information. I have a lot more information about money coming y'all's way. I've been telling y'all, build y'all businesses. Now is the time. Now is the time. Take it from the daughter, the granddaughter, and the great-granddaughter of civil rights leaders, okay? One side we indigenous, on the other side we claiming our U.S. citizenship, and I'm telling y'all, money is on the way. We're going to get into the reparations. We're going to wrap up some of these entertainment stories. We'll push a little bit more of the entertainment stories to the back. We'll get right back into the Karen Bass, Madam Mayor stories, but I just wanted to, that's just what we've flown with today. So thank you so much. I appreciate and love you all. Share, stay on these likes. Give me some likes. Give me some hearts. Give me some thumbs up. I need it. I need it. Let's help other people find this video. And let's have a chat and discussion about it. Thank you.
This is Lady Lila Brown from LB Media Group's Melanated News You Can Use on the red carpet for this year's Pan-African Film Festival's opening night, a star-studded red carpet event screening the highly anticipated feature film Chevalier, which reveals the obscure story of Joseph Ballon Chevalier de Saint Jorges, which many refer to as the Black Mozart. For those who have been following my broadcast for years now, we all know he's incomparable. Mozart could never. The son of an indigenous woman enslaved by the greedy forces of colonization, he was a nobleman, military commander, equestrian, fencer, violinist, and composer. Yet this story tells of his life within high society in Paris and amongst the royal court to the Queen Consort of France, Marie Antoinette. And this just in, Madam Mayor's inside right now, Karen Bass. She will open the 31st annual Pan-African Film and Arts Festival, which is the city's largest Black History Month event, which is held at the headquarters for the Directors Guild of America. Tonight's event is hosted by Academy Award-winning actor and activist Danny Glover and NFL pro turned actor Thomas Q. Jones, who many of you may know from P-Valley. Nice to meet you. Hello. You're an ambassador for the film festival. How'd you get involved? What do you think? Have you ever been to the festival before?
Yes, been to the festival several times. I love the festival. Showcase the talent throughout the diaspora. It's one festival that I feel connects all of us, you know, East Coast, very important festival. Honored to be an ambassador, honored to be part of it.
Okay, gotta ask you, because you played in the NFL, who you going for? Super Bowl, Chiefs or Eagles?
You know what? You can't really lose. You got two black quarterbacks. You can't really lose, but you know,
oh, Kansas City's my team. That's my home team. Okay, okay. How'd you like it there?
I love the Kansas City.
Okay.
I like Jalen Hurts' story. Patrick Mahomes, he has a Super Bowl already. So you know, I think Jalen Hurts.
Spread the love.
Yeah, we gotta spread it around. You know, right now we have one black Super Bowl winning quarterback, Doug Williams. So it'd be great to have three.
All right, I cover a lot of Hollywood and sports. I love that you transition. A lot of athletes, when they retire, they don't know what to do next. How did you know acting was for you? Because you're really good at it.
Thank you. I kind of fell into it. It wasn't something that I aspired to do. I was fortunate enough to start working on a couple projects and decided that, hey, you know, this is something that I could pursue full time. And in 2014, I decided to move to LA and get some classes and find some representation. And now, 9 years later, showrunner, producer, working actor. So it's been an incredible journey, met some incredible people. And being a part of festivals like this is a culmination of all that work.
Wow, thank you so much. Take care. Actor Jonathan Majors from Creed 3 and Ant-Man and the Wasp. He will receive the Pan-African Film Festival's Canada Lead Award. Nice to meet you. I'm a huge fan of Joseph Ballon. So how hard was it to find his music to replicate? Because they only have like his violin concertos and things like that.
Especially like the sheet music. You know, luckily when I came on the project, they had a lot of research to find everything that they had. And I'm actually working on another project where they've done some research on just music and how
Did you find any opera of his opera?
Only like the little bits that people have done, like the Anonymous Lover, or like Courtesy, but it's really just like fragments that they have, like, there's like 2 recordings on Spotify.
So I noticed his music is very warm, vibrant, upbeat. What do you think that was? It feels like it was joy coming from him. Like, what do you think was his expression he was trying to convey in his music?
Like, in music is maybe one of the places where he found the most freedom. I think that, like, you can hear how virtuosic he was writing for the violin parts.
I guess they're both gangsters in their own right, so there's some
greatest violin music that
depends on who it
existed up
is.
until
I don't want to say anything bad about anybody. I think there's bad operators out there.
Expression and freedom in it that to me that feels like maybe he was putting as much as he could into the music that he was
and we're making movies about that.
Thank you so much about this film.
Oh my God.
I mean, I talked about Joseph Malone before. I even knew you guys were in pre-production, all that. What made you want to do this and get involved? Because it's an untold story, not very popular. What made you want to get involved?
I mean, first of all, the script that's is amazing. And I had never heard about Chevalier before. So it was an opportunity to tell a story that I identified with. Chevalier came from Guadeloupe in the Caribbean, and I'm from Jamaica in the Caribbean, and his journey felt like something I recognized and I understood. And I felt like it was an important story to share with the world, because for a large portion of the last 200 years, his story has been a contribution to culture, music, creative arts has been suppressed and erased, and I felt it was really important to reclaim that.
Man, there's so much about his life that people don't know about, and I heard that they can't really squeeze everything in with the military. Like, but how did you get the emotion? Because he was going through so much, and I say Mozart could never, because everything that he was going through, and he still excelled.
Right.
And I don't know if I can get you two together, or yes, hi. I've been following. Yes, I followed the life. I followed the life of Joseph Malone. Then when I heard about the production and everything, I just wanted to know, like, how did you think to get involved with this, because it's so obscure?
Well, I read about him when I was super young. I think maybe high school, around 15 or 16 years old. So I've been living with this guy in my head for 15 years of my life.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's been a lifelong dream.
I was asking, how did you convey so much of the expression of his music and everything he was going through at that time? Like, how will you bring audiences into this world that is kind of unknown still?
I think that Steven and I just tried to make it personal at all costs, and I think that that's good filmmaking, that's good storytelling, that we can keep some kind of truth in between the lines of the story, and try to bring it back to who we are as people. It's probably the best way to do it.
And anything, is there any fencing? I mean, can we say about the fencing? He was a fencer as well. Yeah, is that in the movie, or there's some fencing? Okay, so this focuses more on the music, because he was Renaissance. Yeah, so how did you decide, like, how much to keep in or not show, or? Oh, well, thank you so much. I appreciate you for bringing this to life. Thank you. This film. Yes.
I worked on the on-camera music. Music is on screen.
So what's the difference between that and the score? So did you do anything? Did you mix anything or add your own, or did you like finish anything that you couldn't find on Joseph Malone original pieces? Did you have to kind of like recreate anything?
Yeah, so there was some.
I'm a huge fan of his work. So, I mean, I listened to his concertos. It's just so beautiful, so warm and vibrant. What do you think he was trying to convey in some of his musical pieces?
There's a way in which he's also writing music for the time and making sure that it's pleasing society. Because he's wanted in his music to try to
about him before getting involved with this project?
I remember hearing about him as an adult. I remember the day I heard about it. I was so interested that someone like me, I thought of all the things he must have gone through in his life. And I was just like given an admiration of him, so I wanted to hear more of his music. And finally now, we have this film, I'm really interested to see who his music is.
Right, and I just have to ask you, who's your favorite Black classical composer? We only have so many that we know about. Okay, okay.
He was someone who managed to be completely in his own style at the time. He also wrote for basketball as well as
A lot of people don't know that. Thank you so much. Taking place February 9th through the 20th in Los Angeles at both the Cinemark Baldwin Hills and XD and Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Plaza. The festival presents and showcases a broad spectrum of Black creative works, particularly those that reinforce positive images and help to destroy negative stereotypes of Africans and Black Americans. This year's Pan-African Film and Arts Festival features more than 150 films from 40 countries and 19 languages, including 50 world and 22 North American premieres. Once again, this is Lady Lila Brown reporting from Hollywood. Be sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe to my YouTube for more coverage from tonight's event. And check out LBMediaGroup.com as I dive right back into my usual work of taking you behind the scenes of Hollywood and sports, along with more information on this year's Pan-African Film Festival. Until next time, take care and good luck.
Yay! We made it through like my episodes are becoming they're really long. They're getting like I have so much, and every clip now is like its own episode. So I thank you all for that. Woo, we got a lot going on. It's a lot. And I thank you all that are here and tuning in with me. And we just recapping and going through everything. So great. Thank you. Who's still here with me? That is so awesome. I love that we can kind of venture over and do some entertainment stories. And, you know, some people may not be able to check out all the different clips and the interviews that I do. So I wanted to do a whole entire comprehensive recap and, you know, just kind of bring you all up to speed because, trust me, as we really open up this year, the money. It's just like, let's work out some of these kinks. Let's set it up, the foundation, but it's time to get to the money. So I just feel like it's coming. You know what I'm saying? I feel like reparations is coming. It is so much going on. I don't even know if I can just hold it much longer, but you guys are hanging in there with me, and I appreciate you. So let me know, comment. Let me know how you guys are doing, what's going on your end. Yes, he was. Yes, everybody. Y'all, when you put your intentions out there, you just vibrate. You start attracting the people, y'all, chevalier, however I want to say it, you know, my accents. And it all came together. The mayor just so happened. I was like, well, I was going to cover that carpet anyway. Look, I do melanated news you can use, okay? And she's doing all the melanated events. This is different. I'm not used to a mayor being a part of what we're doing in the city. So, culture hotahe, something's happening. You know, it's all coming together. It is divine timing. Everything's really working out. So I really do appreciate that. All right, we got a special report here. And so, yeah, this is we're getting to the money, y'all. We got that $60 million. Chicago got $60 million. I believe Oakland, that Bay Area got about $15 million of HUD money. More money's coming, okay? This is directly for homelessness, okay? Getting people off the streets and meaning it, not just a temporary fix and then 6 months later they right back. How do we make sure that they don't go back to homelessness? So I really want to point this out. I want to preface this story. They're using shipping containers. And I know, Miss K, you always talk about tiny homes as a great solution. I love that idea as well. And so anything, and they're not bad. They're actually decent looking, which I could really appreciate. I really do appreciate that. So we're going to get into, I want to do a special report. It's a 2-part day. I was here and I was there, and I said, people need to know you can use shipping containers. So wait, let's give that a round of applause. Tiny home, shipping containers. Who would have thunk it? So I think this is coming over from Hilda Solis. Great idea. This is kind of near that Chinatown area, which is the first district of LA. And I'm starting to realize like first, second, and third district. Okay. And I really want to point out that the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors are all women. Okay. So I am starting to get that Beyonce video concept she had where it was one of her projects where she had like all these women at a table, like they were all the ambassadors and diplomats and presidents and world leaders, and they were all just like, you know, kind of just conversing about some issues. And I was like, that's not that far-fetched. And also on House of Cards, when Claire became the president, she came into that room that day and she was like, put her foot down. And she's like, everybody, these names, get out. All the men, get out. And fired the entire cabinet board of directors and install a whole cabinet of women. Talk about mental orgasms. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. So what we do in Hollywood is we give you these very complex concepts through film and TV and books and media, theatrical plays, to get the mind going, because it's going to happen anyways. We just want you to be comfortable with it, because we don't want nobody asking y'all permission. So I really do see this world. And I see a little bit of the strategy with Mayor Karen Bass, Madam Mayor. And y'all, I'm not lying. She keeps saying Diane Watson's name, y'all. She keeps saying, and I said, I met Diane, former Congresswoman Diane Watson. I met her at the Rio Olympics at the black delegation, because all the black people was like, we in Rio, we made it. And I think I was like, they keep saying her name. Y'all, I still have her card from 2016. Like, let's see, can we get that to focus? But y'all, if y'all know it, y'all know it. Like, let me see, like, I still have her card. I still have her information. Maybe a cut. I still have her card. I said, why does she keep saying her name? I said, you know what? It's so amazing, too, because this is all a big strategy. I don't even want to talk about all the other people that's being appointed, being inaugurated, being sworn in, and taking their rightful place as Congress people. And all these black women are doing these amazing things. I met former Congresswoman Diane Watson in 2016 hanging out with Smithsonian painter Steve Allen. They was at the Team USA house, and I was like, well, all these black people just come in. And you know, when we at the Team USA house and all the black people coming in, and then all the white sports executives looking like too many black people. And every time we go over in the corner and have our little black conversation, they come stand beside us like, what they talking about, right? We talking about the takeover, okay? So, so we had selfies, and I called it the Black Delegation. I nicknamed what we were doing the Black Delegation, and I always carried the Congresswoman's card with me. And so now that I'm immersing myself into LA politics, I'm like, yo, Karen Bass just said in her last speech that Diane Watson picked her to take her seat, the 37th district. I don't know if it was 37 at the time, but whatever ended up being the 37th district. And so she was basically like, you gonna do this? And then Diane Watson told, you know, who will become Congresswoman Karen Bass, you gonna be appointed. And, you know, when she said, yes, ma'am. Good answer. Good answer. What you gonna be like, oh, I'm self-doubting, I can't do it. So then I'm noticing the succession, and then, you know, Karen Bass, Kamala Harris, Madam Vice President, and then the installation of City Kamala, which we'll get into. But it's happening. It's happening. So I'm gonna make sure I keep drinking my water, stay healthy, keep meditating, you know, I'm just so excited. I'm really trying to contain my excitement, but it's happening. Something's happening. So we're going to get into it. The money's coming, I promise you. And then eventually we'll talk about how to get it into the hands of you all, because we got to get this going. We got to get it on and pop in.
I'm Lady Lila Brown with consistent coverage of Mayor Karen Bass, who is effectively utilizing her connections to bring in federal resources. Mayor Bass spent the day with Jeff Olivet, the executive director of the United States Council on Homelessness, as she continues to lock arms with the city, county, and federal governments to confront Los Angeles' homelessness crisis.
Very much, Dean, and let me just thank ADAP. I'm very proud to be here at the Asian American Drug Abuse Program, an organization that has been in our community for decades, and an organization that I have worked with personally for decades. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about this morning. Today we welcome the second senior White House official to come to Los Angeles in barely over a month. Jeff Olivet, Executive Director of the U.S. Interagency Council on Homelessness, who is here on behalf of the President, standing side by side, arm in arm, as we confront the crisis of more than 40,000 Angelenos sleeping on our streets. When we met in the White House a few weeks ago, we talked about you coming here, and we wanted you to know that if the White House goal was to reduce homelessness in the United States by 25%, if you come to the epicenter of the country, you can actually make a significant dent in achieving that goal. So we started our morning off. We were at Skid Row. We did a tour of Skid Row, and we were at LA CAN, Community Action Network. And then after taking a tour of Skid Row, we went to one of the Inside Safe locations around 90th and Figueroa. It was a fairly large encampment that was right at the right on an off-ramp of a freeway. And a lot of times we have problems in those locations because it's Caltrans. And as you've heard me say from the very beginning, to address this problem, we need to have a complete alignment of every level of government: the federal, the state, the county, and the city. And as you know, over this last month, the city and the county have been working hand in hand. I will tell you, every time I go out to one of the encampment sites, especially on a day like today where it wasn't outreach so much, it was a move out day. So the people who were living in the encampment were all being moved, and we were working with Hopix, one of the community-based providers, and at the same time as they were registering them to move out, you know, they're doing assessments to see what their needs are, and then they boarded a bus and are in the motels now. It's a very exciting time because people are very thankful to be leaving the streets. After we got the people on the bus, we also went and talked to the neighbors that live near the encampment to find out what their needs were, what their concerns were, but also to talk to them about, now that the encampment is moved, we need to make sure that it doesn't repopulate with either new people who are unhoused, and certainly not the same individuals who are in the motel, who now will be there for a while and will then move into permanent supportive housing. So it was interesting. They gave us very concrete things that they wanted to see us do. They actually wanted some bushes cut down. They wanted some trees removed. They talked about how people were hiding in the areas, and so to prevent that, they wanted to make sure that we followed through with our commitment. And so as we move on, you know, it's been a little over, well, not quite a month that we've been doing Inside Safe. We're learning a lot. We certainly have encountered challenges that we will be addressing, but we're also eventually hoping to reach scale where we can be all over the city. We are doing multiple areas at the same time now, but we want to expand that even further. So let me just say that oftentimes it is not just an issue of resources, it's not just an issue of housing, but I have said passionately all along, if we do not address substance abuse and mental health, we are kidding ourselves in our ability to end homelessness in Los Angeles. So that is why we are at the Asian American Drug abuse program because we wanted to highlight and emphasize the need to have substance abuse treatment as part of the continuum of care. And let me just say, I want to bring up Dean Olivat from the Interagency Council, and when we go to Q&A, I will acknowledge the people who are standing with me who represent a variety of services, including drug treatment programs.
Now we're at the Hilda Solis Care First Village, where Mayor Bass and Mr. Olivet also visited to see firsthand the innovative interim housing built from shipping containers that provides housing for unhoused residents of Los Angeles. And we toured the site today. Very beautiful space, nice, updated, and we also spoke to some residents here.
It's been real helpful. When I came here, I came from my car. I was sleeping in my car.
Okay.
And I needed this place at the time, and it really did help me to get me where I'm trying to go now. I have a case manager. I have a few case managers. I got my Section A. I'm trying to find me a place. I found me one. Hopefully I'll be moving real soon. But it saved my life. It saved my life. I've been here today 15 months.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I've been here 15 months. It's a little longer than what I thought the program would be, but it can be 3 meals and it's a place to stay and everything is free. You don't pay no rent. You know, you got people that help you and stuff, and you know, it's been different. I lost my dad since I've been here. You know, I lost my niece since I've been here. This place saved me.
As we are just hours away from President Biden delivering this year's State of the Union address, Mayor Bass is hoping to hear key issues of housing the unsheltered as part of his speech with Los Angeles as a focus to reduce the homelessness rate. These major steps are developing stories, so I greatly appreciate you all for tuning in to our ongoing reporting of Mayor Bass as her office is still announcing key development and key appointments during her transitional phase. Be sure you like, comment, subscribe to my YouTube page, and you check out LBmediagroup.com, where we have all the latest news coming from the mayor's office. This has been a special report with updates from Mayor Karen Bass, delivering real-time results of her Inside Safe initiative to help those most in need. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, take care and good luck.
Yay, we're getting it in! And we're getting it in! Yo, that was tough. I did 2 events. Yo, I made up this song while I'm waiting for like my Ubers to pick me up, and while I'm waiting around, or you know, transitioning to the next stop. And it's in the tune of Wookin' Panub in all the wrong places, looking for love in all the wrong places. And I be singing, chasing the mayor all around the city, chasing the mayor. I just be sitting there waiting on my little Uber, chasing the mayor all around. And that's what I feel like I'm doing. Where's she at? On top of a mountain in Chatsworth with the Tatavian Indians for winter solstice? Well, I'm going to be on the top of the mountain. Where's she going now? Some places I just, you know, I really want to get her in Skid Row. I don't know. They don't really invite us when she's doing that. But, and there's some really key places. I was like, I really want to, but I had just double booked. And I love the solutions. I love all of the effectiveness. I'm trying to get it, y'all, because it's genius. And don't think that other mayors around the country are not paying attention. It's effective. It works. And when you're raising the standards, for one, that's not easy. You are raising. People kind of like to operate in mediocrity. And she's raising the bar. That's the new standard. That's the new expectation. What we say here, as goes California, so goes the nation. Yay! My vote matters. I'm happy to tell the next generation that. Speaking of, Cherokee Nation is in campaign mode, and they want me to vote for somebody other than Chief Hoskin. Are you insane? You want me to vote for the person? You want me to vote against the person that got my people in, that got y'all to see the light? So it's election season happening. I think next month in April we'll be voting on some Cherokee stuff. My vote matters there as well. Voter suppression then got these disgruntled Negroes talking about they not gonna vote. I try not to, you know, go into any other speeches other than the mayor's or some of the favorite melanated people, but I do want y'all to hear. It's a 2-minute speech. Thank goodness these people are not too long-winded. They're getting it in, but we have to listen to the executive director of the U.S. Council on Homelessness, because it's no longer just, this might be almost by, methinks this is almost by design. So there's no middle class. Now low income has become poverty-stricken, homeless. They become no class. Oh my gosh. The untouchables, they would call them in the caste system. Yo, that's messed up. It just hit me like, is this what y'all wanted? Now we got councils on homelessness in this country, where y'all be like spending $1 billion on Black Panther movies. I be so confused. Like, Disney gonna make $1 billion off of Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and at the same time be laying people off. Yo, I'm gonna say this once, and I hope not to say it again because I'm not an ageist, but every time I sit in some of these panel discussions, these trade show conventions, summits, webinars, I be realizing why we in a recession. Like Michelle Obama said, you know, you fight to get in the room, and you get in the room, like, these people are not very smart. That's why we're in recession right now. That's why inflation, it just mismanagement, this stuff could have been contained. I don't even want to get into it. We're just going to get to the executive director on the U.S. Council. We have a U.S. Council on Homelessness now. Who would have thunk it? But to the people that are here, hi, thank you for being here. And hopefully we can continue to do the broadcast more often, and I appreciate you all. Man, I just wanted to listen to his speech. I wanted y'all to hear, and let me know what y'all think about some of the stuff they're saying. I like to believe my audience that tunes in with me. I don't baby talk. All right, I talk to you all like you're adults, and I understand we might have some young people that might tune in. Whatever, we'll see. Whatever type of young teenager like C-SPAN type media coverage, but I want y'all to interpret some of the things that y'all hear them saying. Like, let me know. Like, give it up or down. Whether you listen live or later, let me know. What do you think about Mayor Bass so far? We kind of listened in, we tuned in. Let me know. Some of these speeches we going through, she's saying anything that's kind of like, you know, perking you up, or you calling BS? Which one is it? Which one is it? We working hard over here. We curing homelessness. We got to get 41,000 people off the streets, all right? We're 8% of the population. We're like, what, 30, 40% of homelessness. That doesn't make sense. Do you think she's doing a good job? Do you think your mayor should try this? What do you think? What are some of your solutions? And then hopefully we can make our way over to reparations. We got so much to get done.
Here this morning.
All right, here we go. Yes, so this is the executive director. I want y'all to hear from him as well.
I met a gentleman who had slept in a tent last night. He'll be sleeping in a motel tonight with a door that locks and the comfort of a bed and a warm bath. And I asked him, what happens then? And he said, housing, permanent housing. That's the pathway that we want to see. We don't want anybody sleeping on the streets and in the tents and in their vehicles. We need to get people inside as quickly as possible, and I think the work that Mayor Bass and her team are doing on Inside Safe is a remarkable first step. The next step has to be the permanency of housing and wraparound supports. That same gentleman also shared with me some of the mental health challenges he's struggling with. So Mayor, to your point, we know that addressing mental health, substance use, and a range of other supports that people need is essential to making sure that exits from homelessness are permanently successful. The Biden-Harris administration is deeply committed not only to solving homelessness across the country, but to supporting you all in solving homelessness right here in Los Angeles. Our colleagues from HUD last week announced a new $60 million grant to Los Angeles to address unsheltered homelessness. We are thrilled that Los Angeles won one of those awards, and we hope that'll be a significant help in the work that you all are doing. We also, as Mayor Bass said, released a new federal strategic plan to prevent and end homelessness. It's called All In, and it lays out strategies to achieve a 25% reduction in homelessness in the United States by 2025. That is an ambitious goal, and it is one that we will not and cannot reach without Los Angeles. As your work goes, so will our work go nationally. And I believe right down to my core that we can solve homelessness right here in Los Angeles, and if we can solve it here, we can solve it anywhere. Mayor Bass, thank you for the leadership that you're providing, for the work that you do, and for the incredible team that you're assembling to get the job done.
Oh, I think I had just said that. I think I had just said that. And that's not just
8 feet.
That's not me just making stuff up. I literally just said that. As goes California, so goes the nation. Wow. Wow. Thank you. And hey, Tay, how you doing out there? How's it going? Wow. Tell me my vote don't matter. That's power. I feel my power as a voter trickulated. Hey, you know, some people come up to me, one person particularly, they like to talk about Mayor Bass, and I tell them I'm covering her. Hey, subscribe to my YouTube, thank you. And one person said, "Oh my gosh, I love her. I wish I could have voted for her." And I'm like, "What do you mean you wish you could have voted? Why didn't you?" No, they're like, "Well, I don't live in, that area." I was like, oh. Y'all, they're living on the outskirts. And I remember when I voted for her, and in the primary, I remember, and I think the general, like the election day as well, I was just like, I asked some of the poll workers, I said, how's voter turnout been? And it was like, man, just maybe a dozen people. We not getting a lot of votes. And I know because the mail absentee ballot, but he was just like, we not getting a lot of people coming in voting in person. Yeah, this was during the primary. And he's like, just a dozen people. So I was like, basically the poll workers are voting, and that's it. And this is an area that is very hard hit by homelessness. So I just feel like, this is so fucking weird. But I guess that's the last thing on their mind. But when we do vote, I think it is effective. So I'm happy to see it. So as goes California, so goes the nation. We got a lot more to do. So I don't know if I should get into this just yet. The creative economy stuff, it's a lot. That needs another setup. I'm gonna probably we'll note it there, because I keep wanting to get into this reparations story. It's so much going on in the world. I might end up doing another broadcast tomorrow, because I really want to get this up. We'll call it the weekend coverage. We'll call it the weekend report. But if y'all ready for the reparations chat, let's get into that. Okay, because I keep talking about the money. We're going to break this up because she's so amazing, and I really want to give it this just due. And then we'll do some weather, and then we'll get into some entertainment stuff. And I got to have some dinner, because y'all know back in the day, I used to do a whole 4-hour video. We used to be talking. But now I do want to bring y'all up to speed with what's happening with the weather out here. And this, because of the weather, it's why it's so important that we are getting people off the streets, because the floodings, man, I remember when the first storm system came in, we had 9 atmospheric rivers. And so people are used to the LA River just being like concrete. And they're just kind of used to like no water being there. It's a big old concrete ditch. Big, like let's say the average person is about this size, and the concrete ditch is like that. And when the rain floods the city, it all dumps into this LA River. And sometimes people, they can't go anywhere they want. You can't park here. You can't park. And people living in their car. You can't park here. So these people go to the river area because it's like concrete, and they just park. But when it rains all at once, it don't take but a few minutes for that thing to swell up, and it just washes them. And there's always some car floating downstream. So it's really, really sad. So yeah, we got some flash flood. We'll get into that so y'all can really understand how important it is that we are getting people inside, safe, out of the rain, because it's cold. It's cold out these doors. And then I'll keep this up so we can, but this is a good feed, and I want to sit and listen to this with y'all, and I want to get dinner tonight. So the reparations conversation, we'll keep it going. We'll probably play this again tomorrow and roll back into it. But yeah, this is Melanated News You Can Use. Reparations is one of our top stories, so I didn't want to get too heavy into Mayor Baz. We are approaching about, we're about getting about 80, 90 days, almost the first 100 days. So I've been there. I am proud of myself, what I've been able to do and taking on this challenge, having the self-initiative and self-funded and self-employed. And it's just like, I've been self-employed for 13 years and I have traveled the world. I've had so much fun doing what I want to do, figuring out, being creative, providing solutions, and it's been a roller coaster. And I like to just oscillate high from now on. You know, I want to create a new oscillation system where my lows are what my highs used to be. That would be so beautiful and great. Let's get this reparations money. Let's get to the shmoney. The she money. Look like in order to get the shmoney, you're going to have to get with the she money. So let's get into the money. Everybody mad. Everybody mad now.
Talking to Duke University professor William Darity and his partner, Kirsten Mullen, about the racial wealth gap between African Americans and white Americans, and how reparations to African Americans could help close it. He co-authored his most recent book titled From Here to Equality, Reparations for Black Americans in the 21st Century with Kirsten Mullen. Kirsten is a folklorist and the founder of Artefactual.
Pause to my Clubhouse family. What's up? We did a whole audio book on From Here to Equality, and you can't even get through one chapter without crying. I want to make sure y'all still hear me. You can't even get through one chapter without crying because he goes into, I was like, oh, you got to get a reparation for that. You got to get, and you did what? And you killed who? Oh, reparations for that. He literally goes through every single ill, injury, ache, and pain. And you're like, oh, reparations for that. And they burned down whose house? And they tore down what school? Terrorism. And, okay, reparations for that. And what else they do? And they kidnapped. And they created this law. And they said you couldn't do. And they threw that person in jail for that. Chapters. He decided so much. So I trust his numbers. He's an economist. We're going to get into it. I just wanted to, they reference the book. If you haven't gotten to the book, get into it, okay? So it's worth checking out.
Thank you both for joining me today.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Who should be financially responsible for paying reparations to Black Americans?
The federal government must pay this debt. This is the entity that gave itself the authority to enslave Black Americans and to institute nearly a century of legal segregation. When we're talking about legal segregation, we're not only talking about keeping Black people separate from white people, we're also talking about nearly a century of white terror attacks on Black communities. And these were focused on primarily two different things: turning a blind eye to the destruction of Black people's property. And in some cases, the federal government was party to those destructions. So, you're talking about the seizure and appropriation of Black property. The federal government is also the only entity that has the capacity to pay the debt. So the federal government is both culpable and the capable party and should pay the debt.
You all are arguing that the federal government should be footing the bill for these reparations, but does that mean that the cost would ultimately be passed on to the taxpayers?
Not necessarily.
We make the point in the final chapter of our book that there have been a number of recent instances in which the federal government has made huge expenditures without raising taxes. One of those instances is the substantial expenditures the federal government made to address the health crisis associated with COVID. You don't necessarily have to raise taxes to undertake these massive expenditure projects. However, you do have to be concerned about the inflationary effects of these types of projects. And what we suggest in From Here to Equality is that there are two major steps that could be taken to minimize the inflation risk. One of those steps is to spread the payment of the $14 trillion out over several years. We recommend no more than 10 years or a decade, but that would reduce the amount of annual expenditure that would be needed. And then the second thing that could be done to minimize the inflation risk is to provide people with these funds in the form of an asset that is somewhat different from a direct cash transfer, something that's less liquid, that they cannot spend entirely all at one time. This could include giving them reparations in the form of an annuity or a trust account or some type of an endowment where there were limitations on the amount that could be spent at each moment. But the key thing is that ultimately the discretion for the use of the funds must reside with the recipients.
You always believed that I could switch.
Okay, so they had a little breaky break there. Apologies for that. We're going to get right back into it. So he's an economist. I take his word for it. I think he's got great solutions. I'm starting to hear about the tax portion of this. And someone suggested that they could do the taxes as a tax incentive for those private contributors that know their ancestors owned slaves. So you could be paying taxes and you could get some special incentives. I've heard that suggested coming out of Southern California with the Reparations Task Force. So we'll get back into it. I think we're good to go here.
Who is eligible for reparations should be Black descendants of individuals who were enslaved in the United States. And we propose that there are two criteria that would be relevant for determining eligibility in this context. The first of these is what we refer to as a lineage standard. An individual would have to demonstrate that they have at least one ancestor who was enslaved in the United States of America. And secondly, an individual would have to meet what we refer to as an identity standard. So for at least 12 years before the adoption of a reparations plan or the enactment of a study commission for reparations, an individual would have to demonstrate that they self-identified on a legal document as Black, Negro, African American, or Afro-American. And we argue that this is the relevant population for reparations because this is the community that has descended from the folks who were promised 40-acre land grants by the federal government as restitution for their years of bondage. And this was a promise that was not kept. At the same time, the federal government was giving 1.5 million white families 160-acre land grants in the Western Territories under the Homestead Act of 1862. And this is the foundation for the racial wealth gap.
Why is it important that monetary reparations be made specifically to African Americans as opposed to a broader group such as Black Americans, which would include Caribbean Americans, possibly African immigrants, or expanded to the broader umbrella of people of color, which includes other racial groups as well?
So we are focusing on the descendants of the individuals who were promised those 40-acre land grants and denied them. You know, these are folks who had the promise of the opportunity to build wealth and, importantly, to pass that wealth on to their children. This is not the case of the more recent immigrants. We know that, for the most part, unless your family was part of the diplomatic corps, Black people from the Caribbean and from the continent were not in the United States in large numbers until the late 60s. They did not experience enslavement in this country. Their ancestors did not experience Jim Crow in this country. They did not experience nearly 100 years of racialized terror against their families in this country. Yes, it is indeed quite likely that many of these individuals have a case that can be made for reparations, but not to the United States government. But individuals who are from Antigua or from Jamaica would take their case for reparations to the UK. Our histories are not the same. There's a huge difference between being forced to come to this country in shackles versus coming voluntarily for the opportunities that you believe are, will be available to you. Our research suggests very strongly that the more narrowly, the more specific these claims are, the more likely they are to be supported.
At minimum, a reparations plan must be sufficient to eliminate the racial wealth gap. The amount of expenditure to close the racial wealth gap would be closer to $14 trillion. We do the calculation for the amount that's required on the basis of the mean difference or the average difference between Black and white households. The average amount of wealth that's held by a Black household circa 2019, based on the survey of consumer finances conducted by the Federal Reserve, is closer to the vicinity of about $140,000, while the white average household had an amount that was in excess of $980,000. And we use that difference as the basis for calculating what's required to close the racial wealth gap.
Well, thank you both so much for your time today and this very insightful discussion. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having us, Cheyenne. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, thank you so much.
That girl named Cheyenne, that girl's a whole Indian. Her name is Cheyenne. She a whole Indian. Yeah, so that's who's getting it. So while y'all want to say Africans were enslaved in this country, it was indigenous people like Sister Cheyenne there. You can clearly tell she's Indian. That's fascinating. That's fascinating. I am so impressed. I'm so impressed. That is a great way to leave all. As you can see, it's a little dark here. We don't want to keep this broadcast going too long. We'll probably do some other things this weekend. Hopefully I can bring myself back to do this. But we got so much going on. Look forward to a weekend edition. Really knocking out these stories. There's so much going on. And I do want to close by, y'all, I had to close with this one. Because this was about a month ago with the California droughts. And I normally wait until I'm on my broadcast to do this story. But I just saw the most beautiful face. And I was like, we're going to have to see this story today. Oh, my gosh. I usually don't fawn over media faces and actors. But this don't make no sense. How could somebody be so good looking? I was screaming before I started this broadcast, and I was like, I gotta do this story today. Y'all, this don't make no sense. He is definitely an indigenous man. I want to know him. But I was screaming hallelujah when I saw this face, and I said, I have to show y'all. I know I got some interesting taste in our brothers, but this don't make no sense. I ain't never seen somebody look like this. So we're gonna get this story. I was screaming these in such a sad and scary story, and I was just like, but I didn't watch the video. I started and I was like, whoa, this might be the most beautiful face I've seen in my life. So please just bear with me here. I don't know what's going on with this story. I know it's California deadly. I haven't watched it. These devastating floods. And this is a report coming in from January 11th. So I got to bring you up to speed so we can continue to talk about the rest of the weather that's happening out here. But I want to mark it for the occasion. But damn, it don't make no sense. Somebody look like this. Excuse me to anybody else watching live or later. But goodness gracious, I had to get this one. I had to get this story logged. Thank you. Damn.
Heavy rain is headed to California right now, potentially making a deadly situation there even worse.
Catastrophic flooding is impacting millions of people in the state, forcing thousands to leave their homes. Authorities have linked more than a dozen deaths to the storms. Torrential rain is also causing landslides and power outages across the state. Some residents are stranded as communities are inundated with water and mud. Several cars even were swallowed whole by sinkholes. California Governor Gavin Newsom says that the state's changing climate has been a challenge.
Dries are getting a lot drier the last 3 years, and the wets are getting a lot wetter. This weather whiplash is that new reality.
CBS News correspondent Elise Preston is in Studio City, California. Elise, look at all that mud and gunk behind you. Obviously, these cleanup efforts are underway, but tell us, what are the priorities and what are some of the difficulties as the state is really bracing for more drenching storms?
Well, good afternoon, Lana and Errol. You mentioned this mud. It's very thick, definitely hard to get through, and the cleanup is underway. Take a look over here. We just watched crews shovel out this driveway, and to the right, you can see just how high the water was out here in this residential neighborhood of Los Angeles. That water line is about 12 to 15 inches high, and then if you just take a look, another look to your right, you can see that wood has been snapped off. Tree branches, pretty thick tree branches, have been twisted and ripped from the root. And then back there, you can also see these backhoes trying to clear all of this mud. So as workers get a break from this rain right now, they're trying to get to the places that cause safety issues. So right now, they're cleaning up roads across the state. They're trying to get to places that have been blocked by landslides, by mudslides. We've seen quite a bit of that right here in this residential area. There's a neighbor, or there's a home that's just right up on this hillside, and the land has just kind of shifted. So people are just trying to make sure that they are secure before this next round of storms come through. And keep in mind, Lana and Errol, there are thousands of people across the state waking up today, or they woke up today, still without power, still without water.
It's pretty stunning. We're seeing some of the footage from the storm as it flooded, but what you're showing us, Elise, really underscores those who are kind of getting the worst end of this, because even though the water has left, all that mud is damaging to homes and everything that people hold dear to them. So I appreciate you putting on your boots and getting us right up close to where it's so challenging for so many people. And I shudder to ask this next question then, because while it's been devastating for everyone around you, talk to us about some of the benefits that all of this rain actually provides, considering there's been this ongoing drought in California for so long.
Well, before we get to that, Errol, you mentioned that we're in this hard-hit neighborhood, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are areas that are much worse, and families are still stuck in their homes today, so keep that in mind. But yes, experts say that all of this rain that California has endured over the last week or so, it is helping to ease drought concerns. California has dealt with drought for a few years now, so this is helping to ease those concerns as the water helps refill those parched reservoirs. But keep in mind, I've been speaking to people all week, and they said, we desperately needed rain, but they did not need this, according to those families. And you can only imagine all of this damage. It's still total. The cost hasn't come in yet, but it's estimated about $1 billion worth of damage. And then the biggest loss here in California, at least 17 lives. So people are thankful that they did get some rain, but said that this did not need to happen.
All right, well, you know, there's more rain predicted. Do we have any sense when Californians will get some relief?
Well, they are getting a little break right now, and people are able to clean up some. But just take a look right over here at this garage. There's another round of rain expected just in the next few days, and it's going to pound the state for several more days. So you see this family is already prepared. They have a tarp going, and they have sandbags already ready to go as people gear up for yet another round of rain, Lana and Errol. It's going to be another time for people out here in California.
All right, Elise, thank you.
Thank you, Elise.
Yeah, very interesting because, again, displacement of the indigenous people, and then now look, like, ain't nobody told y'all move up there. Y'all don't pay attention to nature. Y'all pay attention to nothing. Yeah, very interesting. Oh, look at this hair. It has glowing in the dark. Glowing in the dark. I don't know. Maybe we could keep it going. I do want y'all to pay attention to this story real quick because this launched yesterday. Like I said, I'm all about getting to the money. So if any of y'all are video gamers out there, y'all like to play Just Dance or Gran Turismo or chess.com or tennis or Nintendo baseball, y'all need to pay attention to this story real quick, because, and your kids, this is something, the generational wealth we can do together. The IOC, the International Olympic Committee, y'all know I work in the Olympic space. I gotta at least leave y'all with this story. I gotta at least leave y'all with this, if nothing else. Like, wow, look at this. The Olympics is esports gaming.
The National Olympic Committee has just announced details of the Olympic Esports Series 2023, a global virtual and simulated sports competition created by the IOC in collaboration with international federations and game publishers. The initially confirmed featured games across 9 sports are archery, baseball, chess, which includes chess.com, cycling, dance, motorsport, sailing, taekwondo, and tennis. The Olympic Esports Series 2023 begins today when both professional and amateur players from around the world are invited to take part in qualification rounds across a host of the featured games. The Olympic Esports Series will culminate in live person finals for the first time, with players having the opportunity to progress to the Olympic Esports Finals. This is taking place in Singapore's Suntec Center from June 22nd to the 25th. The final action will be a highlight of the recently announced Olympic Esports Week. Coming together in Singapore for this unique competition, the players will compete in front of fans for the prestigious title of Olympic Esports Series winner. The thrilling finals action will be streamed globally across Olympics.com and Olympic social channels. This evolved format of the IOC's virtual competition builds on the successes of the Olympic Virtual Series. The 2021 series, which took place ahead of the Olympic Games for Tokyo 2020, attracted over 250,000 participants from across 100 countries to take part in competition. The Olympic Esports Series 2023 marks another step in supporting the development of virtual sports within the Olympic movement, as laid out in Olympic Agenda 2020 going on in 2025, and continues its collaboration with the gaming and esports communities to create new opportunities for players and fans alike.
Yay! We did it! We made it! Oh, that was Jonathan Majors. I'm boycotting him, but I got some footage of him. Oh, get off of that. Get off. Oh, well, I guess I'll show y'all. I'm boycotting Jonathan Majors. He don't like us. I'll show you.
The other day. You were everywhere doing everything all at once. What does it feel like? I mean, did you ever see this for yourself?
You see him look at me? I'm good. I'm good. I don't want that story. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good, Majors. No. I'm so sick of supporting people that don't rock with black women. I'm so sick of, I don't care how well you do without my support. You ain't getting my dollars. You ain't getting my reparation coins. You know who I am, Jonathan, and you know I'm not going for that. You know exactly who I am. Y'all can act like y'all don't know who Lila Brown is. Y'all know exactly who I am. The G20 is going on. That's one of my next stops I'm going to be making if I could just find some time. My international story that I'll be getting into is Darfur, Russia and U.S. relations, U.S.-China relations. But my African story, we're going to be focusing on Darfur. You're not going to hear anything from me about the Nigerian elections, just not interested. Nigeria is slated to become the #1 nation in the world. They are adding to the global world population, which I believe we're hovering right about 8 billion. Nigeria keeps having kids, keep having children, but they don't have clean drinking water for their people. So you're not gonna get none of the promotions out of me in that way. Foreign policy, just not interested. We'll eventually get back into Mayor Bass. But I did want to note that Forbes is also talking about the California flood. So we'll probably go deeper into the implications, what that can mean. And I do want to note, and my only international story I'm really going to share with y'all today is about Turkey and Syria and why these earthquakes are so devastating in the area. Because I know here our buildings are reinforced. We do earthquake preparedness because California is on a fault line as well. But again, Syria, Turkey, I believe at this point more than 50,000 deaths, lives lost with this earthquake. So why was this just, okay, there's earthquakes all the time and we never see these catastrophic numbers? What's really going on? So I don't know if this video is copywritten or flagged, but I'm all about sharing information, free information press. So hopefully this story will help you all realize what's going on in the world. And for anybody that might be listening, like I said, live or later, I think this story is important. And why, and understanding how, why was this so devastating? What was it about this that people have earthquakes all the time. Why was this so hard hit, and why was so many lives lost? And this is probably going to be the best explanation and making sense out of all this. So thank you. And please watch this story. I appreciate you all, and we'll get out of here eventually.
This is a building collapsing in Turkey, hours after a series of earthquakes and aftershocks on February 6th. First, the bottom floor crumbled. Then, the rest of the building came down on top of it in what's known as a pancake collapse. Thousands of buildings near the epicenter in southern Turkey and northern Syria tumbled straight down in a similar way. The intensity of the earthquakes alone carried the potential for destruction. But it's the pancake collapses that have made this one of the deadliest disasters in the region.
Even a very well-designed and well-executed building would have suffered. This doesn't rule out that the building was free of defects.
How well building protected residents played a significant role in lives saved and lost. Clearly, a lot of these buildings were not up to standard.
The death toll continues to climb as many victims are still stuck under the weight of the buildings. So what is it about these buildings that has made this earthquake even more devastating? First, let's look at the larger region that's prone to severe earthquakes because of these two fault lines. They sit along tectonic plates that meet one another and cause friction. When the friction builds up, a powerful earthquake is eventually released. Over the last century, Turkey has seen major earthquakes along both fault lines. The most recent one happened here. This is the seismic impact that shows the epicenter. When you take a closer look at the most impacted areas, they were densely populated with Syrian refugees who ended up living in buildings that were haphazardly built and largely neglected. And across the border in Syria, buildings in these areas were already weakened by the prolonged civil war. But what really complicates this disaster is that Turkey was aware of the buildings that were the most high risk. They're called soft story structures. A soft story building is typically a large structure with multiple floors and an open plan on the bottom. That bottom floor can sometimes be a parking garage, space for small businesses, or extra homes. These buildings are very common throughout the world, especially in countries like India, Pakistan, and Turkey, because they offer a solution to overcrowding in densely populated areas. But they historically do a poor job of withstanding medium to powerful earthquakes. Here's why. These columns here could be made of brittle concrete, and the stories on top might be made of stone and a stronger mix of concrete. Sometimes the bottom floor has fewer walls than the ones above, with sides that may be left open, or columns that aren't connected by walls. This means that a soft story is the weakest floor and cannot fully support the heavier ones above it. So when an earthquake hits, the structure may shake until that bottom floor collapses. During powerful earthquakes like Turkey and Syria's, the remainder of the building may follow. This kind of collapse traps people under heavy construction materials, making rescue missions even more difficult.
ابن عمي ومرته مع 3 أولاد لهلا ما معروف عنهم شيء ساكنين بالثاني الفني.
I can't see him. This is worse than war.
But this is a challenge Turkey has faced before. A comparable 7.6 earthquake hit Izmit in 1999 and caused over 17,000 deaths. It became clear that poor building design and soft stories, which made up nearly 90% of building collapses, exacerbated the death toll in this disaster. The aftermath pushed the Turkish government to reintroduce building codes with an emphasis on earthquake safety. But they weren't enforced due to corruption, and many buildings in Turkey were built well before 1999, which meant those buildings could only be strengthened retroactively. There is a way to keep soft story buildings intact in the event of an earthquake, retrofitting them with materials that can support the weight of the structure. In an ideal scenario, these columns can be replaced or reinforced with steel frames. These open walls can be reinforced too, and extra bolts and braces can be drilled into the foundation. So if the structure shakes, there's support from that bottom floor. A solution like this seems simple, but it's extremely expensive to execute. According to the World Bank, around 6.7 million residential buildings in Turkey need retrofitting or reconstruction at a cost of $465 billion. As of 2021, only about 4% of those buildings were transformed. In fact, retrofitting is an expensive undertaking and nearly impossible even in countries like the US. Here is every remaining soft-story building in San Francisco that needs reinforcements that would cost billions. But another problem in Turkey is that construction companies have been cutting corners and ignoring building codes for decades, and the Turkish government has let their violations slide. According to the BBC, this post advertised a building that complied with Turkey's latest earthquake safety regulations, which emphasizes the use of strong materials. But the way that same building collapsed suggests it was a soft-story structure. Now, Turkey is cracking down on contractors that are allegedly responsible for these collapses. The scale of this disaster is a result of complex factors, like geography, neighborhoods still reeling from war, and weak buildings. But what makes this moment particularly harrowing is that while earthquakes along fault lines are inevitable, many of these deaths didn't have to be. Turkey, along with other countries near fault lines, are all prone to intense earthquakes. But they won't have to be this deadly if cities enforce codes and treat safe housing as a human right.
That is devastating, and we hopefully will get it together before disaster strikes. So that's unfortunate. I wanted to make sense out of everything that was going on, so I do appreciate that. What a horrible story to end on, but I wanted to leave with some information. I wasn't sure if that story would make it all the way through, but we'll keep these stories rolling. Hopefully tomorrow into the weekend. Really amazing work again from Madam Mayor Karen Bass. I'm on the scene. I'm reporting, trying to understand the complexity of these issues, but so far it's pretty, very cut through. It's very easy to understand. It's very direct. Here's the problem, here's the solution, and politics and government doesn't have to be so confusing. So if you made it to this point in the broadcast, you are hopefully wiser because of it, with more information in your arsenal, with hopefully more hope for the future, that things can get done. There is an effective way to govern and to administer funds, and so we'll keep talking about that as we get into it. So thank you to all that watch my content. Again, I'm not going to dumb it down for anybody. I'm not going to spend and waste time on frivolous stories about celebrities too much, other than the fact that I love to bring arts and culture to heighten and to also tell stories about the past, so we can understand what's going to probably most likely happen in the future, and because history always repeats itself. So when we do get into entertainment, it's something that I still feel like can bring us some value and hopefully some monetary gain in the future. So let's build some capital. Let's build some wealth. Let's talk about what was stolen and how to reclaim what is rightfully and inherently ours. So again, this is Lady Lila Brown with another edition, hopefully we can do this weekly edition of Melanated News You Can Use. Is there anything else? Thank you all for commenting. I appreciate you all. Yes. Yeah, right. She said this makes her feel a little bit better about not being a homeowner just yet. I can understand that. You be blessed as well. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Yay, thank you. I feel like it was a great broadcast. I was happy to get some of those stories out of the way. I still got a lot to go. I was like, there's no way. Like, I think last time I just kind of powered through it. But I got some work done today. I'm going to continue to share resources. So make sure y'all check out LBmediagroup.com, because there are some, it's time to work. It's really time to work. So time to get a lot of thank you for the compliments. I appreciate that. Yeah, I just want to make sure I got everybody's comments. Thank you so much. Oh, wow. I appreciate all the love and support and the kind words and gestures. And I just really appreciate you all tuning in. So I think that's all I have. And until next time, you all, you know the drill. Take care and good luck. Bye. Ciao. We'll do some more news stories. I'm having a great time. And then we'll talk about, you know, how I survived Black History Month. Ooh, spooky. It's scary. Terrorism still happening. I'm horrified. All right, bye, y'all. Take care. Bye.